spring afternoon for softball here on the campus of Urbana High School. It's Normal West traveling to Urbana to face our Urbana Tigers. Hello everybody, I'm Joey Wright, joined by Jason Liggett. And Jason, it's acknowledgement night here, final home game of the season for the Tigers. Shea Feller and Cameron White making their final appearances on this Tigers team. Both are juniors, but both are departing at the end of the season. How do you think they'll fare today? Some emotions for them, and how do you think the team as a whole will fare as well?
Well, hopefully Urbana keeps the batting lineup moving like we saw them do just last Thursday, really getting a hold of things there in the second inning. They had a 7-run inning. They come up big offensively. They're always there defensively. As far as Cam and Shea, their final games here at Urbana High School, certainly some mixed emotions for them.
Certainly. Shea moving to Florida at the school year's end. Cameron graduating early. First batter of the game for the Wildcats of Normal West will be the second baseman, Livy Sonnets. The pitcher for Urbana, we've seen her a few times this season, it's Autumn Dysert. And the first pitch from Dysert is popped up. This will be second baseman Marley Glenn making the play. One pitch, one out. And it's Jackson Dixon, the shortstop for Normal West, the second batter of the game.
Well, and every time we've seen Dysert this season, she really has had some good stuff. She hasn't lost here on the Tigers Media Network, I don't think.
I think so. I can't recall if she was the pitcher for the Hoopston game or not, but that does bring me to a point. The Tigers 3-1 in the games we've covered, so to say that she hasn't lost wouldn't be a stretch. Pitch in the dirt, ball 2. Aaron Wright there to make the stop. Worth noting Aaron Wright playing with a broken thumb this afternoon. I believe she injured it on Friday against St. Thomas More, so we'll see how that plays out as the game goes along.
Do you know if that's her? Looks like it must be her catching hand.
It is her catching hand, so.
Easy on the heat.
Yeah, right. I'm
sure that can't feel too well.
No. And it's a 3-0 pitch in there for a strike. Certainly toughness playing with a broken thumb. Certainly a position as demanding as catcher is. A storyline to follow as we move along. This is fielded by Shea Feller at third, and the throw to first is in time. 2 up, 2 down. Talked about Shea Feller a little bit earlier. She makes a nice play there for the second out of the top of the first.
Yeah, real good heads-up snag there by Feller.
Yeah, that's hit right at her. I mean, that was a tough play to make. And it's Normal West's pitcher, Amanda Rogers. Take strike 1. And the 0-1. That'll be low. Ball 1. Look at the rest of the infield for Urbana. At first is Lauren Matson. At second, Marley Glenn. Shortstop, Maddie Sanders. And the third baseman, of course, Shea Feller. Two and 1 the count to Rogers. And she rips one foul down the third base line. Did that get over the fence? I couldn't.
I couldn't quite see it.
Yeah.
I don't see it behind the dugout, so it might not have.
No. In any case, the 2-2 outside and high. It's a full count now with 2 outs. On deck would be the left fielder, number 23, Emma Boitnott. Full count offering is high. It'll be the first base runner of the game. Amanda Rogers takes first. And we'll see what Emma Boitnott can do with 1 on and 2 outs. And this is grounded to Shea Feller. She fields 2 ground balls this half inning, gets 2 outs, and the Tigers will hit for the first time.
Yeah, so some good defense there, top half of the first for the Tigers. As we saw some good pitching outside of that full count walk to Rogers, but outside of that, popped out, grounded out the shortstop in the 2-hole. And then the fourth batter of the inning, grounding out to Feller over at third.
Nice quick start to the game for the Tigers. Let's get a look at how the Tigers will line up offensively. Leading off, the shortstop, Maddie Sanders. Cameron White, we mentioned, she's one of the 2 players leaving upon season's end. She's in center field, bats second. Lauren Matson at first, bats third. Erin Wright, mentioned, playing with a broken thumb behind the plate, bats fourth. Shea Feller also leaving upon the conclusion of the school year. She is at third and she bats fifth. Mercedes Williams is the left fielder, bats sixth. Marley Glenn at second, bats seventh. Kinsey Smith, the designated hitter, bats eighth. And Anais Flint-Roy is in right field. She rounds out the Tigers' order, bats ninth this afternoon.
Summer-like temperatures this afternoon here, Joey. We've seen a little bit of everything this spring here in Urbana.
Yeah, we have.
Covering both baseball and softball.
I believe it's the high today was 86. Nice breeze. Feels good.
Yeah, but this is midsummer weather here.
Yeah.
Not that I'm complaining.
No, it feels good. Should have worn a hat, I think, and maybe some shorts. I'm in jeans right now. But it's all right. The breeze definitely makes it feel a little cooler than it is. Maddie Sanders strides in. She's the shortstop. Walk-up music for all the Tigers this afternoon. Maddie chose Star Wars as her song. Strike one. Darth Vader, I believe.
Yes.
This will be high. It's 1-1. And you mentioned the summer-like temperatures. They're going to say this is ball too. It seems like every game we've covered this year at the softball field, it's been right after a rainy day, so the field's been somewhat, it hasn't been dry, and it's really dusty out here this afternoon. I mean, oof. The wind is blowing the dirt around, and it's a battle. 2-2 to Sanders, and she will strike out. 1 up, 1 down for Amanda Rogers on the rubber for Normal West. And we'll see what Cameron White can do. In center this afternoon, bats second. First pitch from Rogers. She's going to try to bunt it. That was a foul tip. Got pretty high up there. 0-1. Fouled onto Washington Street. White behind 0-2. Behind the plate for the Wildcats is Jess Jacobs. 0-2 is fouled away. Their first baseman is Olivia Hess. Their second baseman, Olivia Sonnets. Shortstop, Jackson Dixon. And at third, Bailey Turner. We will see Jess Jacobs, Bailey Turner, and Olivia Haas in the top of the second. And this is fouled right back to me. On deck, Lauren Matson. In the hole, Erin Wright. The 0-2, swing and a miss, and 2 up, 2 down, 2 strikeouts for the Tigers. Let's see if Lauren Matson can buck that trend. She's the first baseman. Having a pretty good year, too. Everyone on the team really offensively has turned it on as of late. And Lauren fouls one off down the third base line, 0-1.
So the Tigers making some contact here. Just need to straighten it out. Get your first base runner, and after that, they'll come easy.
Well, the Tigers can get some, they can create some action on the base paths. Swing and a miss from Madsen, that's strike 2. And I should point out that, you know, we've seen them a few times this year, and they don't always, the Tigers, start out very quickly. Madsen strikes out, that'll end the first inning. But, you know, they can go a few innings before they get on the board, but when they do, they tend to score in bunches. So we'll see if they can do something to that effect later on in the game. We're tied with no score after 1. Seven batters have strolled up to the plate between these two teams so far. Only one of them has reached base. Remember, that was Amanda Rogers of Normal West, drew a walk, the third batter of the game. It'll be Jess Jacobs, Bailey Turner, and Olivia Haas for Normal West. Pretty good crowd here at the softball field, obviously. The presence of music and announcing, first time we've seen that here this year. Good contingent of students and parents, mostly from Urbana, but I wouldn't be surprised if Normal West has brought a few of their own. And the first pitch of the second inning is, I believe, low and inside for ball 1.
Well, with it being the final home game for the Tigers, always bring some extra people out, and the weather's great.
This is dropped by Glenn. That will put Jacobs aboard at first. Yeah, I mean, it's a fantastic afternoon for softball. The baseball team in action in Mattoon this afternoon. I'm sure they're enjoying the weather down there as well. Third baseman Bailey Turner, her first plate appearance of the afternoon.
Kate Berlingmare comes out as a courtesy runner.
Fitting that Bailey Turner, the third baseman, number 30, 3-0. Bunted foul, I believe it landed in the batter's box, and by rule that's a foul ball. Or at least what it sounded like the umpire said. So it's 0-2. And the pitch lined right back to Dysert. She couldn't make a play on it. And this will give the Wildcats runners at first and second. Still no outs. And the first baseman, Olivia Haas, with a runner in scoring position. Let's see what she can do. Down 0-2. That was a nice, clean single from Bailey Turner. Haas showed bunt, pulled it back. Because it was a ball, it's 1-0. And the 1-0, this is swung on, almost the same hit. This may score a run. It's fielded by White in center. And we will see there won't be a play at home. Coming in to score is Jess Jacobs. Throw to the cutoff, Kenzie Smith, excuse me, Autumn Dysert. I got confused them a few weeks ago too. She held onto it, and now Michaela Fairfield. This is going to get past right. No play, runners advance, and now Fairfield will have runners at second and third.
So Normal West strikes first here in the top of the second. A 1-0 ball game, no out.
Here's a bunt. I don't think this is going to bring the run home.
She's
safe at first.
Yeah,
so I was waiting to see what the call was.
So 4 straight singles to start off the inning here.
Brings up Cassie Sprout, the right fielder, number 5, with the bases loaded. No outs. You got to figure it's a great opportunity for Normal West here. This is chopped to Sanders. She'll throw to first for 1 out. Coming in to score from third, Bailey Turner. So the Wildcats trade a run for an out. Advancing to third is Olivia Haas. To second goes Michaela Fairfield. That was Turner coming in to score. we're back to the top of the order with Libby Sonnets. Outside ball one. Jackson Dixon on deck. Remember, Sonnets flew out to Marley at second base her first at-bat. Takes strike one. And essentially a bunt. Looks like it's going to bring the run home, and safe at first is Sonnets. So the Wildcats bring home another, and they'll have runners at the corners. Still with only one out. Olivia Haas came home to score. Jackson Dixon, the shortstop, chops one foul to third. Remember, she grounded out to third her first at-bat. 1 inning to go. Oh, and 1. Let's see what Dysert does. In motion was Sonnets. Aaron threw her out. So the Tigers will trade out for a run. Michaela Fairfield from third comes in to score.
Normal West now up 4-0 here as they get 4 across the plate in the second inning.
Jason, I guess the way of thinking there was that the second out was more important than preventing that run from coming in. This falls in front of Sanders now. No one picks it up, and into second base is Jackson Dixon. Brings up Amanda Rogers. She was the first base runner of the game for either side. Drew a walk 1 inning ago in the top of the first. With 2 outs, she's got a runner in scoring position.
Well, and if you're the Tigers, you really hope that runner out there on second, Dyson, doesn't come around to score, as that ball really should have been caught. Routine pop-up fly, and she made it to second after they decided maybe it'll roll foul.
Hit to Anais Flintroy in right field. She makes the play for the third out. Yeah, just a miscommunication, it looked like, between Sanders and perhaps Feller out there at third, and even Dysert on the mound. Does not prove to be a costly error, and after 1.5, the Tigers down 4. Aaron Wright will lead it off for Urbana. Let's see if they can get at least some of the runs back. Still early here in Urbana.
Well, the Tigers definitely capable of stringing some runs together. We've seen that numerous times this season. I think just about every game that they've won, they've had multiple innings where they're scoring 3 or more runs.
Yeah.
I already mentioned last game against Danville last Thursday, May the 11th. They scored 7 runs in the second inning. And what do you know, Joe? It's the second inning.
Yeah. It was the same score. They were down 4-0.
Were they down 4-0?
Yeah.
I thought it was 1-1 at one point, and then Danville, but maybe not.
I know it was actually Aaron hit a grand slam when they were down 3-4. I know, and that put them up 7-4. So, and then that was part of that inning. So yes, they were down by this same score. Swing and a miss from Aaron. Remember, she's playing with a broken thumb, so we'll see if that factors into her performance at the plate at all. She's been just fine behind the plate. This is grounded hard to third, and no throw over to first. Aaron Wright aboard with an infield single. As hard as that ball was hit, I'd say didn't have much of an impact.
Well, and you saw where Turner had to dive for that ball. That really had outfield written all over it. That was a well-hit ball down the third base side, but Turner good to get in front of that ball and hold her to a single, perhaps.
Foul to the backstop. Yeah, she's got some speed. That was a nice play. A smart decision not to throw it over because I don't think, I mean, it's tough to get up from that position and make the throw to first with anyone running. And as we break down that play, Shea Feller, one of the two players being honored tonight, down 0-2 in the count. Let's see. Rogers, the 0-2, is high for ball one. Mercedes Williams on deck. And the 1-2. So that's strike three. 4 outs for the Tigers so far. All 4 have been by virtue of the strikeout. And now Mercedes Williams, who has perhaps the most power on the team, swings and misses for strike one. And Jason, I believe she leads this team in home runs, so that's always a possibility when we see Mercedes step in the batter's box. She's behind 0-2. And ripped foul down the third base line. She'll do it again. We've seen some foul balls that the Tigers have hit down the third base line that have just been absolutely stung. That one no different. 0-2. Tie ball one. Marley Glenn on deck, then it's Kinsey Smith. The 1-2. Hit well into center field, and it's gone. Mercedes Williams, another home run. Cuts the Tiger deficit in half. It's 4-2. What did I tell you?
Nice 2-run shot there for Mercedes.
Wow. That's incredible.
Yeah, you could tell that was a well-hit ball off the end of the bat there, and thought that it had a chance, and it certainly did.
Marley Glenn with 1 out, grounds it foul down the first base line. Yeah, you know, the way this softball field's set up, at least our angle, it's always tough initially to tell if it's going to get out or if it's just going to be a fly out, but that we didn't have to doubt that one for very long.
Well, you saw the center fielder for Normal West just keep running back and didn't look like she was looking to catch anything as she was going.
Lazy fly ball to the second baseman. That's Livy Sonnets for the second out. Yeah. And hopefully that gives the Tigers some momentum.
Well, it's certainly nice just to get on the board after giving up 4 in the top half of the inning. They get 2 of those runs back here in the bottom of the second. 4-2 ball game here at Urbana High School.
Kinsey Smith, the designated hitter, is in.
And the crowd just keeps coming, Joey.
They do. That they do. Big crowd, in fact. A lot of students. I just looked behind me, and they've added a few nice catches from a fan out there.
We learned that from you, right?
I'm hoping I get another fly ball or foul ball, I should say, back to me here. I want redemption for what happened in that central game. This is a fair ball down the third base line into left field. Kinsey will have to stop at first, but that gives Anais Flint-Roy a base runner with 2 outs.
Low and inside pitch there to Kinsey, and she's able to pull that one out down the third base side.
Perfect base hit. Anais will try to bunt, pops it up, and Rogers there to make the play for the third out. So the Tigers get 2 back by way of a Mercedes Williams home run. After 2 innings of play, it's 4-2. When we get to the bottom of the third, we will see the top of the Tiger order: Maddie Sanders, Cameron White, and Lauren Matson. for Normal West. We will see the middle of the order here. Emma Boitnott, Jess Jacobs, and Bailey Turner. Boitnott was the only hitter for Normal West not to have batted in the top of the second. Jess Jacobs led off the inning, the 5th batter in the order, and it ended with Amanda Rogers, the 3rd batter in the order.
Boitnott 0 for 1 on the day, grounded out back in the 1st. She's a junior at Normal West this year.
And the dirt nice stop from right, 1-1. Dysert, the 1-1. This is well hit. I think it's going to go foul down the 3rd base line, and indeed it does. But I think if that had stayed fair, it might have been a home run.
Yeah,
No,
she's got some speed.
Yeah, she made it all the way to second before she was called back. So even if that didn't clear the fence, which I'm not sure it did, I don't think it did, that would have been trouble. Because I can't see the portion of the fence that was hit to. Left field corner. It's 2-2. Jess Jacobs on deck. This is popped up. Should be playable, and Wright unable to make the play. That was tough, though.
That wind was kind of getting a hold of that ball as high as it was hit, and a gust coming along, so a little bit tough to track that one.
Initially, I thought it would be playable, and it was, but I wasn't sure. It came pretty close to getting caught by the lip of the backstop there. In any case, still 2-2, and another foul ball to the backstop. So we'll do it again. 2-2 from Dysert. Swung on, stung into left center. Cam can't get there. It's off the wall on one bounce. And into second with ease, Emma Boitnott. Now 1 for 2 with a double. So Jess Jacobs, the Wildcat catcher in. Reached on an error back in the second. We know we've got some speed at second. This is popped up. It's going to be fielded by Sadie's. Sadie's Williams makes the catch for the first out of the top of the third. Bailey Turner singled in the second. See what you can do here. And strike one. Bailey Turner, Olivia Haas, and Michaela Fairfield, the next 3 batters we'll see, all singled last inning, so this could be a trouble spot in the lineup for the Tigers. This is well hit to Anais in right field. She'll make the play. Tagging from second is Boitnott. She'll get into third with 2 outs. A few questions from some parents on whether or not she left second base early. I wasn't paying attention so much to her as I was Anais, so I'm not sure. This is to Cameron, gets under her glove. And they're going to say this goes under the wall. It does, goes under the fence. It'll be a ground rule double, scores Boitnott anyways. That's one way to do it.
That was a hard ball out there to field. They're almost at the point where you got to dive and go all in or play it off the one hop, and she kind of did something in the middle.
Yeah, it's tricky. This is chopped to third.
Is that not a foul ball?
I
thought it was
foul
foul
to me.
I guess it ruled fair.
I guess she touched it while it was fair. That's what's got, because that did not cross third base on the fair side of the infield. In any case, Normal West continues to rally. Fairfield gets into second on that. And it's Cassie Sprout, chops one right back to Dysert. Throw to Matson, high, but she makes the play. Tigers give up another run, but they've proven that they're a very capable offensive team. We'll see if they can get it back in the bottom of the third. It'll be the top of the order for Urbana, Sanders, White, and Matson. Tigers down 5-2. And in the top of the fourth, I should point out, we'll see the top of the Wildcat order: Sonnets, Dyson, and Rogers. Still on the mound for Normal West, Amanda Rogers. It's a hot one, at least for my soda. I've had it on the table, and each sip I've taken, it's gotten progressively hotter. I guess that doesn't tell you it's hot outside so much as the sun's out. There's not a cloud in the sky this afternoon. Science. Sanders takes strike one.
Sanders 0 for 1 on the day. She struck out her first time up back in the first.
Takes strike two. So it's 0-2. Yeah, each of the first three batters in the lineup for the Tigers struck out in the top of the first. Curveball is high, ball one.
Rogers has really been on today.
And the 1-2. This is hit into center, off the center fielder. Sanders is going to be aboard at first. Center fielder Michaela Fairfield couldn't make the play. Give her credit for effort, though. That was a tough one. She dove, just couldn't quite put her glove in the right position. And Cameron White, her final home game as a Tiger. Beautiful bunt. There's a collision on the way to first. Let's see what they say here.
Out at first base and then thrown out at second. Maddie Sanders diving back to the second base, trying to get safe there and thrown out.
They're gonna award Cameron first base, I believe. That's what I was paying attention to. They're gonna say that was interference. And then in the confusion, Maddie was thrown out at second. That's what. An odd play, but probably gives Urbana a little more speed at first. Swing and a miss from Madsen, strike one.
Yeah, not quite the result that they wanted there, but still got a runner on base with only 1 out, so let's keep it going here.
And nearly some trouble at first.
That was closer than I thought it should be.
The umpire waited a few seconds to make his call. 1-1 to Lauren.
I wasn't quite sure if Cam got her hand in there or not, but I guess she did. Made it safely back to the bag. And she's headed to second there. No throw.
And easily. I said, I mean, the Tigers, you know, you replace Sanders with White at first, that gives them more speed. And they show it there. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Matson. This is high, ball 2. Keep thinking that whole play regarding Sanders and White, that was set up, a beautiful bunt. This is popped high. Won't leave the infield. Catch is made at second base. Matson now 0 for 2 on the afternoon, and Aaron Wright strides into the batter's box.
Wright with a single her last time up. 1 for 1 on the day.
Remember, that was a hard hit ball to third. And I'm not going to get a chance to field this one. Some fan will. That was fouled nearly directly behind home plate. No injuries.
I was hoping for a Joey Wright dive there to
dive.
catch that one.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, that's strike 2. That'd be a leap. That's what, 10 feet?
Don't doubt your athleticism,
okay,
Joe.
All right. 0-2, stung too short. Throw to first is in time for the third out. So the Tigers strand a runner at second base. No strikeouts that half inning, which is an improvement on what they did the first 2 times they had chances at the plate. And after 3 complete, the Tigers down 5-2.
Top of the order due up for the Wildcats.
One more athletic broadcast of this spring season. On Thursday, the Tigers battled the Green Wave of Mattoon on the baseball diamond. A game at Prairie Park, I should say. A 4:30 start on Thursday.
Hoping for some good weather that day. I think the rain's supposed to hold out past that. I know it's 70% chance on Friday. Can't remember Thursday's forecast, but.
Well, you won't be there on Thursday, so
I won't.
I hope it doesn't rain.
I'll be in Orlando.
There you go. Vacation or down there for? What do you? What brings you to Orlando this week?
Helping a friend out with something.
Okay.
As detailed as I'll get.
There you go. Certainly a lot to do in Orlando. I guess the Magic season is long over, but and if it wasn't, the Eastern Conference Finals tickets wouldn't be cheap. But you go to Disney World, Universal Studios. Is that in Orlando as well?
I believe it is. Yeah.
I'm sure there's an aquarium down there. Chopped foul down the third base line. I was born in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Moved to St. Petersburg. And this was all before I turned 1. And by the time I was a year old, I was living in Memphis.
A traveling man.
I've moved around quite a bit. I've lived here longer than anywhere else.
You've been here since, has it been
grade?
4 or 5 years?
7th grade, 2012, so
5
years this July, yeah. You got Fort Lauderdale, St. Petersburg, Memphis, Tennessee, Lansing, Michigan, Bloomington, Illinois. Fouled back to the backstop. Bloomington, Illinois, Lexington, Kentucky, Rogers, Arkansas, Beckley, West Virginia, and here with a summer in Springfield between my time in Beckley and here. Stayed with my grandparents as we looked for a house.
2-2 count now to Sonnets.
It'll be full. I've seen the world. East of Illinois. Chop to Feller. She'll make the throw over to first. No, well, she made a throw, but it wasn't a very good one. And past Matson it goes into second base safely is Livy Sonnets. Not incredibly polished defense from the Tigers at this point. And Jackson Dyson with with no outs. Let's see what she can do. Strike 1. Now that I think about it, I don't think I've ever been more west than Kansas City, just at all. I think that's as far west as I've traveled.
I don't think I was any further west than Illinois when I was your age, Joey.
Well,
and since then I've been all the way out to the West Coast.
There you go.
And no further east than Ohio and no further south than Kentucky. So I'd only been in the Midwest at that point. Been lots of places since, but.
Yeah. Well, tagging from second on that fly ball was Libby Sonnets. And with one out and a runner on third, it's Amanda Rogers. I've been a lot of places out east. Been down to Texas.
Rogers 0 for 1 with a walk on the day. She popped out back in the second.
It's Rogers and then Speed on deck with Boitnott. 1-0 is high. It's 2-0. Just joining us, we're in the top of the fourth. Tigers down 5-2. A big second inning for Normal West is what's got them out in front. They put up 4. Grounded foul to third. We've seen some pretty well hit foul balls from both sides at this point. Tigers, their 2 runs came from a Mercedes-Williams 2-run shot in the bottom of the second. Scored her and Aaron Wright. The 2-2 is going to be strike 3, and Amanda Rogers goes down on strikes. The first strikeout of the game for Autumn Dysert. And the left fielder Emma Boitnott strides in. Remember, she hit a double in the third inning. Grounded out to third in the first. She's 1 for 2. This is well hit to left field. It's gone. And the Tigers now down 5 runs. It's 7-2. I suppose a good day for 2-run home runs. The second one we've seen today. Urbana infield had a brief conference. Perhaps that hurts a little more because it came with 2 outs.
Home run's always tough to give up, especially when you're already trailing by 3. Now you're trailing by 5. There's a pop out there, should be caught.
And Cam White ranges over, makes the catch for the third out. So the Tigers down 7-2, but don't count them out of it. They've still got plenty of chances to score, and we've seen them mount late game rallies in the games we've covered this year. Think back to the Hoopston game, even though they weren't able to win that one. I think they were down 8 runs at one point, 7, 8 runs, and they were able to come all the way back and tie it up. Unfortunately, couldn't hang on and win it, but I think you mentioned earlier, it seems like every game we've covered, they've had to mount some sort of a comeback. No matter the outcome, they're still going to have a winning record in the 5 games we will have covered at season's end. The heat has just killed my Dr. Pepper. It's flat now.
Turned out not to be a wise choice, huh? Should have
No.
gone with the water, maybe.
Perhaps. And we will see a substitution for Urbana. It'll be Esri Vesley coming in for Marley Glenn. So that means, let's see here. That means Esri Vesley will be the third batter of this frame. Leading off, Shea Feller. Feller struck out in the second. She's 0 for 1. Feller told me this afternoon, as we see her swing and miss for strike one, that she's moving to Tallahassee, Florida, upon this school year's end. So we were talking about Florida earlier, and there you go.
We've come full circle.
Yes, we have.
It's only the 4th inning.
So we might get another rotation, perhaps. Like I said, it's ball 1. And striking out for the second time, Shea Feller. So Mercedes Williams, remember that 2-run home run in the second inning cut the deficit at the time in half. It went from 4-0 to 4-2. Let's see what she can do here. Obviously, can't cut this 5-run deficit in half alone. Couldn't cut it in half anyway. Not evenly. Swing and a miss, it's strike 2. In the dirt, ball 1. And the 1-2 is hit well but foul down the third base line onto Washington Street. That ball was hit a ton. That was ripped on. I mean, that was absolutely crushed down Washington. I don't know if I've ever seen a ball travel that far foul. Hit the sidewalk, I think, so it didn't quite get onto Washington. But oh, swing and a miss there.
She went golfing on that
Yeah.
one, looking to make some contact. Not able to do it so. It's the second out of the inning.
That pitch hit the dirt before she swung, I believe. And it's Esri Vesley in for Marley Glenn. Takes strike 1. Marley will finish 0 for 1. And it's 0-1. Hits beyond the second baseman's glove, and Esri has to get back to first. Challenger there.
Good start to the day for Vesley.
Yeah. Certainly, maybe it'll provide a spark for the Tigers lineup with 2 outs. Kinsey Smith in now, singled in the second.
And in fact, we're going to see Autumn Dysert batting.
Okay. You got me. One.
Oh.
They got her. Yep. Esri Vesley thrown out at first from behind the plate. So, Tigers are going to have to get going at some point here. They're down 5 in the 5th inning. Honored before the game this afternoon, Cam White and Shea Feller in a ceremony that took place about 10 minutes before the game started, give or take a few minutes. Similar to what you'd see on senior night for football or basketball
or softball if there was any seniors on the team.
Good point. There aren't any seniors on this team. And it's rare you see a varsity team without any seniors on it, but that's the case we have here this year. And certainly you got to think this team's going to be really good next year. Certainly a lot of talent this year is sophomores and juniors, and I think they've even got one freshman on the team. Raven Russell's played a few games for him, so they're going to be a fun team to watch come next year. Dysart still on the mound. And the first pitch of the 5th inning to the third baseman, Bailey Turner, is a ball. This is hit. This is going to find the gap to the wall on one bounce. Good throw into the cutoff. Vesley, and aboard with a leadoff double is Bailey Turner. She's now 1 for 2. Jason, the Tigers are really going to have to step up here and prevent Turner from scoring. I mean, that's pretty obvious, but I don't think you want to fall behind 2 more than you already are.
No, well, you definitely don't want to give up any more runs at this point in the ball game. Top of the 5th inning, the Tigers trail by 5. Olivia Haas up at the plate. She's 2 for 2 on the day. An RBI single back in the 2nd and a single in the 3rd.
0-2 to Haas. Fouled. That almost went into the parking lot. It's caught by Matson, but doesn't count. It was off the backstop. Took one heck of a bounce off the fence there. And another foul ball will clear the fence. So down 0-2 is Haas.
See if Dysart can come up with something here and get her 2nd strikeout of the afternoon.
It's high, ball 1. Turner had a pretty good lead. I don't think we'll see her take 3rd, but we'll see how it plays out.
Well, she definitely has some speed.
Hit foul just beyond the glove of the third baseman, Shea Feller.
She knew she was getting 2 bases when she stepped out of the batter's box on that double, that's for sure. Full steam ahead.
Certainly 1-2 to Haas. The first baseman swings and misses for strike 3. 2nd strikeout of the game for Dysart. And with a runner in scoring position, Michaela Fairfield, the center fielder, strides in. Let's see how Autumn Dysart reacts. She tries to bunt. Stuck with it, didn't make contact, strike 1. So now you've got to be alert to the possibility that we see Turner take 3rd if you're Aaron Wright behind the plate. Chopped, and another foul ball down the third base line. That was out of play.
She got a couple of steps into that ball. She took 1 or 2 steps and then swung at that thing.
Yeah, and we've seen her do that. I mean, I was just going to point out, she chops at it there. She runs up and does what she can.
Well, it's worked so far in the ball game. She's 2 for 2.
Hopefully the Tigers' defense has caught on. She's almost out of the batter's box there if she had swung. So it's 1-2.
Putting all that momentum forward, I suppose. It's an unusual technique.
It's going to work. I think it's going to drive in a run, and it will. So, well, all right. I mean, whatever works. Tigers down 8-2.
Brings up right fielder Cassie Sprout. She's over 2 with a ground out and a pop out back in the 3rd.
And she's going to hit one into the outfield. That's going to be a base hit. Safe at 3rd is Michaela Fairfield.
And we see Sprout race over to 2nd while that's going on.
So with 2 runners in scoring position, we go back to the top of the order and Livy Sonnets. Ball one. That's odd. One ball, no strikes to Livy Sonnets, the second baseman. And she pops one up. Sadie's makes the play. We might have a play at the plate. Good throw, catch, made by Wright, but I guess Fairfield was able to get in before the ball got there. Harmon disagrees. I think that was a weird play. A lot went on at once.
Well, umpire said there was no contact there before she reached the plate, but
I can't say I disagree with the umpire, but I see where Coach Harmon's coming from. That
the ball a little high thrown to Erin Wright. She had to jump up for it and then reach down for the tag, and I think that might have been the difference. A 9-2 ball game now. The Tigers trail by 7 here in the top of the 5th, and 2 out. So Normal West has certainly
so Sonnets went to first there and stayed there, I guess, even though she flew out to.
Oh,
I think, yeah. Huh.
She must not have realized.
Well, you know, I'll say this was a really close play. I think, no matter, you know, if you're on Normal West side, she was safe. If you're in the Urbana dugout, she was out. So it's one of those plays. Nice block from Wright. 2 balls and no strikes. It's Jackson Dyson at the plate. She's the shortstop. Reached on an error in the second, flew out to right field in the 4th, and grounded out to third in the 1st. She's ahead in the count 3-0 with 2 outs. And that's outside. She will draw the walk.
Second walk of the day issued by Dysert.
First walk was issued to Amanda Rogers, who strides into the batter's box now with 2 runners on and 2 outs. Strike 1. Breeze feels good. This chop to third, and Feller will apply the tag for the 3rd out. So the Tigers escaped the 5th inning. They gave up 2 runs. They're down 9-2.
Heads up play there by Feller to scoop that ground ball up and just tag the base runner rather than trying to rocket it over to first and take the chance on that out.
She's made a few of those plays today, and, you know, where it's been hit right to her and she's had to react swiftly, and for the most part she's answered the call. So when we reach the top of the 6th, it'll be just a second. It'll be Boitnott, Jacobs, and Turner for Normal West in the top of the 5th. For Urbana here, it's Autumn Dysert. No, it looks like Kinsey Smith is. Nope, that's Autumn Dysert. And then Anais Flint Roy. And then back to the top of the order, Maddie Sanders. And then the next 3 would be Cam White, Lauren Madsen, and Erin Wright. Tigers down 7 runs. Should things hold up, they would have 3 opportunities to earn those runs back right here, and then the bottom of the 6th and the bottom of the 7th. .530 right now in Urbana. We've been playing for almost exactly 1 hour. I'm Joey Wright, joined by Jason Liggett, and we're just about ready to kick off the bottom of the 5th. Autumn Dysert, Urbana's pitcher, fouls one off to the backstop for strike 1. And I should point out that Normal West has made a pitching change. As this is in the dirt for ball one, Bailey Turner is in.
She was out for the bottom of the fourth as well.
Was she? Huh. Snuck past me. One and two.
Bottom of the fourth didn't last long enough for us to mention it. She had a couple of strikeouts, and then Vesley got tossed out on the bag down at first base.
And she's got another strikeout there. So now with one out into the batter's box, Nia James. I believe she's in for Nia's Flint Roy. So Anais will in the afternoon, 0 for 1. So we're going to miss strike two.
Tigers just haven't had a lot of opportunities to score this afternoon, and certainly evident on the scoreboard.
Strike three, Nia James goes down on strikes. Yeah, they've just can't get the bats going.
And credit certainly goes to Normal West pitching.
It's their 9th strikeout of the afternoon right there. And yeah, it's been a Wildcat-dominated performance on the mound. It's Maddie Sanders in. Sanders struck out in the first, singled in the third. It's 1 ball and 1 strike here. Grounded to short. Play is made for the 3rd out. So the Tigers go down 1-2-3 in the 5th. And to the 6th inning we go. The Tigers are really going to have to play defense here. It's not, you know, a comeback is not impossible here, but they're going to have to stop the Wildcats here.
Well, it looks like left fielder Boitnott due up. She's had some success already this afternoon with a double in the 3rd, home run in the 4th.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think. If Normal West can put 3 more on the board, it continues to be a very dusty afternoon. 3 more on the board puts them up by 10, which would make them eligible to win the game on the run rule. Looks like Cassidy Russell's in behind the plate. So here's Boitnott. Pops one high and deep to the outfield. It's gone, her 2nd home run of the afternoon.
She can hit.
I would agree.
Making it look easy here this afternoon is Boitnott.
Emma Boitnott now 3 for 4, 2 home runs and a double. She's scored 3 times.
Sounds like one of your stat lines.
Oh yeah, you know, put me in, coach. So not the start to the 6th the Tigers wanted. And Jess Jacobs, the Wildcat catcher, is in. And beyond the glove of Esri Vesley, that'll be a single for Jacobs. Still a pretty good crowd here in Urbana this afternoon. Have we had a left-handed batter yet? The right, you know, the box on the right side or the left side is all torn up, but the other one is
I don't think we've had a left-handed batter.
Very clean. To Vesley, she knocks it down, no throw.
I don't think there's any lefties on Urbana, is there? So I don't think we see any from them, so it's all just whether their opponents have a lefty or not.
Well, would you look at that? Looks like Normal West is going to bring in Who will they bring in?
That's Kate Burlingmare. She was a courtesy runner early on in the ball game.
And from the left side, gets under the glove of Sanders. In to score from second, Jess Jacobs. Burling.
Well, that a routine ground ball there that Sanders just wasn't able to come up with. Not able to get her glove all the way down to the dirt, unfortunately, for the Tigers. Now it's a 9-run ball game, 11-2 in favor of the Wildcats.
Gets past Russell behind the plate, and advancing to second is Haas. Michaela Fairfield is a lefty, looks like too, so I guess lefties are just a lot nicer to the batter's box than our right-handed batters. That's an observation you can make in a game such as this. Bunted foul. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes, 1 and 2 to count. On deck is Cassie Sprout. And the 1-2 is back to the back. Heart rate increased a little bit there as she hit that, but the backstop fence was there to make the play for me. Still 1 and 2. To short. Vesley, the throw to first, not in time. A nice job of Michaela Fairfield to hustle there. Bailey Turner comes home to score, and Normal West up by 10. The Tigers have to start watching out here. Runners at the corners for the Wildcats, with Sprout at the plate, fouls one down the first base line. On 1. Foul nearly directly behind the plate onto Washington, I believe. It's 0-2. On deck, Livy Sonnets grounded to Sanders. Throw to first is in time. Wildcats bring home another run. That's Olivia Haas.
First out of the inning there, as the Wildcats have already gotten 4 across the plate.
So Fairfield's at second. Sonnets is at the plate. And that's going to be a single. This may score. Nope, won't score Fairfield from second. She'll stop at third. Sonnets a single, gives Jackson Dyson runners at the corners, and only 1 out. Strike 1 inside, but Dyser gets the call. Grounded to Vesley at short, and this will go down as an error. 1 run scores, and advancing, let's see here, to third is Sonnets. Jackson Dyson brings in a run. And Normal West will make a substitution here. Unless we see a double play, they will have batted around.
Number 7 coming in for number 18, Amanda Rogers.
Popped up to Matson, she makes the play. And we've come full circle. Emma Boitnott, remember she led off the 6th with the home run, is back in the box. in the dirt. Nice stop from Russell. One and 0 on deck, Jess Jacobs. High, they're going to get the call. Strike one. And this is hit in. It's going to fall. That'll be a single for Boitnott. She's safe at second. I guess she stretches it into a double. So, stopping at third is Dyson. Sonnets came in to score. It's 15-2. This is hit well, and it's gone. So the onslaught continues. Jess Jacobs goes yard. Scores Dyson, scores Boitnott, and herself. A 3-run home run. It's 18-2.
Normal West Wildcats having a monster inning here in the 6th.
Yeah, that's
as they've got 9 across the plate here in the 6th inning alone and making an 18-2 ball game. Tough afternoon for the Tigers, both on the defensive side of things and the offensive side of things.
Yeah, he just never could get the bats going, and perhaps you know, that was wasn't good for the morale. Outside for a ball. 9 runs have come across in this 6th inning of play. That's a ball. So 3-0. And Bailey Turner aboard with a walk. So Olivia Haas, the first baseman, in. No,
Burling Mare.
And Burling to Sanders for the 3rd out of the top of the 6th. So not the 6th inning the Tigers wanted to see. That probably goes without saying. 9 runs come across for the Wildcats.
Do or die time now for the Tigers.
Normal West just 3 outs away from capping off a pretty decisive win. But, you know, we've seen the Tigers put some runs on the board themselves this season, so, you know, of course it'd be a pretty monstrous comeback should they complete it here. But, you know, we'll see how it plays out. Leading off will be Cam White, then Lauren Matson. And I would imagine Cassidy Russell will stay in and hit for Aaron Wright. Tigers begin postseason play on, I believe, May 23rd. So this is not the final game of the year for the Tigers softball squad. I believe they face off against Mount Zion in Mattoon, so that'll be a tough one. That's on May 23rd, I believe.
That's a week from today.
And that will hit Cameron. She'll take her base. So Lauren Matson now at the plate and Cassidy Russell on deck.
Why don't I? I don't see that too often. Cam White kind of put her hand out to shield her body, so that ball ended up hitting her hand that she extended, but making sure that it didn't hit her in the chest or anything like that. But you don't see that too often. Normally they just dive right out of the way. She used her hand as a blocking shield there.
Got a base out of it. On 1 to Matson. And she hits one well. That's going to find, it's going to get down. To third is going to go White. Matson's in at second with a double. So no outs for the Tigers, and they've got 2 on. Cassidy Russell will stride in for her first plate appearance of the afternoon. She replaces Aaron Wright, who will finish 1 for 2. And she grounds out.
Everybody's safe, they say. She made it safely to...
Huh. Well, that's interesting. I couldn't see because the umpire and catcher were in the way. So did the first baseman come off the bag there, or were they never on the bag? Or I guess you've got about the same angle as I do.
That I do.
So
you might even have a little bit better of an angle there. But yeah, didn't see what happened down at first, but Tigers get a run across, and that feels like the first time in a long time. That was the first time since the 2-run homer shot from Mercedes Williams back in the second inning.
Yeah, and there's certainly been no shortage of runs in between. Shea Feller, the third baseman in. High, ball 1. Well, we've seen the Tigers rally before. Strike 1. Down 15 here in the bottom of the 6th. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Mercedes Williams on deck. Popped up. This is going to go out of play. The wind's going to pick it up, and that sliced a lot. That did not follow its original flight path at all. Combination of spin on it and the wind pushed it way foul down the first base line. Strike 3. Throw to second off the base was the shortstop. So Feller strikes out in her final home game as a Tiger. But advancing to second base is Cassidy Russell. And Mercedes Williams, who has, remember she had that 2-run shot back in the second inning, swings and misses it. Strike 1 there. On 1. Ball 1. Ezri Vesley on deck, then Autumn Dysert and Nia James. Back into third in time is Lauren Matson. And this is popped up deep to center field. It's going to be caught. Tagging from third is Matson. She'll score. It's now 18-4. That came very close to getting out of here again, but fell just short of that.
Very high pop out there.
It was deep, though. It was high and deep.
It was. We need a little less height and a little more distance on that one.
I'd say. Tigers down to their last out here, should they not score 4 more runs. And it's Ezri Vesley. as he takes ball 1 low. Russell still at second. Here's the 1-1. And it falls. This will maybe score
Should
Russell.
Score one.
Yeah. Throw into second base is not in time, and Cassidy scores from second base.
Cassidy held up there around third. I'm not sure what she was doing. But she made it home safely. No throw to the plate. 3 runs across the plate here in the bottom of the 6th so far for the Tigers. Still a 13-run ball game, 18-5.
And Kinsey Smith is now back in to hit. Smith laces one foul down the line. On deck would be Nia James. Ball 1. One ball and 1 strike. With 2 outs, that'll be strike 2 on the swing and miss from Kinsey. Tigers down to their last strike. Here it is. Popped up. Should be playable at second, and it is. That's the 3rd out of the 6th inning, and the Tigers, by virtue of the mercy rule, will fall short in this one. The final score, 18-5. Jason, not the best game for Urbana, especially on this acknowledgement night in which we acknowledge the departure of Cam White and Shea Feller, but, you know, you're not going to win them all. What are your takeaways from this one?
Well, the Tigers just really couldn't get going this afternoon, and as you said, you can win them all, but would have been nice to be a little bit more competitive. But all credit due to the Normal West Wildcats, some great starting pitching, great relief, and really came alive in a couple of those innings offensively.
Certainly, our next broadcast and final broadcast of the spring season, Thursday, it's baseball against Mattoon at Prairie Park. So for the whole crew, you're Jason Liggett, I'm Joey Wright. Our final score and our final softball game of the season. And by the way, I want to say these games were all very fun to cover, with the exception of this one. All of them were close. All of them were fun to be a part of. Our final score of our final softball game of the year, Normal West 18, Urbana 5. Thank you for tuning into this presentation of Tigers softball on the Tigers PN.